Hello everyone, Republic Jim here. I just wanted to do a quick video just talking about some of the budget or small gear that I use on some of my campouts and with search and rescue and such. Not going to go into too much detail here, and it's just kind of a quick overview of a few things. But first one that if you've watched any of my campout videos you've probably seen in use at some point is this grabber emergency tarp. Has the reflective surface on the other side, which is good for emergency shelters, or like last night when I camped out, I just laid it on the ground to kind of give me a little bit of protection from any moisture. And it's just a small, lightweight form. Doesn't have the best grommets in the corners, but there's enough there to tie on to, and I've gotten a lot of use out of this thing, and it's still holding up okay. And this one's kind of an unusual one that probably not going to see on too many channels, but it's just a packaged individual plastic drop cloth. As you can see, 9 foot by 12 foot. It's perfect size for using for the front wall of a super shelter when I'm using the emergency tarp for the back side of that. That 9 by 12 size just fits nicely over it, and I don't have to cut anything. I just open up the pack, take it out. I got a 20 pack of those on Amazon for some ridiculously low price, and I just always carry a couple of them in my shelter kit. They're very compact and light, so I don't even really notice they're in there. It's a handy way to always be prepared in case I have to do a super shelter. This one I used just last night camping out. Just a simple inflatable pillow. There's a bunch of different ones available. They're all pretty much the same thing. When it's deflated, it fits in this tiny bag, and it actually is possible to get it smashed down and back in there. And it's quick to inflate with just a few puffs, and open it up and empty it out. So it's kind of a luxury item, but considering how lightweight and compact it is, it's worth it to me to have something there just to make the night a little more comfortable. This is, it's not real obvious what you're looking at, but that's Surstrip fire starter, and it's kind of like a waxy type fabric. You can tear it into strips and get kind of a, rough up the edge so that there's fiber sticking out so that you can light it with a spark. It's a lot easier with a lighter if you have just a steady flame, but you can tear it up and fluff it up and light it with a ferro rod or whatever also. It works pretty well. There's other tinders that I prefer that are easier to use and such, but I don't have anything that's this compact. It's just very easy to take a strip of that and carry it just about anywhere. I always carry some around in my wallet and also in my EDC belt pouch that I wear. And it's good to know that if I ever have an emergency, I always have a bit of that with me to where I could start a fire if necessary. This is my all-time favorite headlamp. It's a little more expensive than the tiny Ever-Ready ones or whatever that use 3 AAA batteries, just the little LEDs and stuff. This one has a 18650 rechargeable battery, and it is able to go much brighter. I don't remember exactly what the max lumens are. I think it's around 1,000. It's really bright on max setting, and like on the mid-range setting, which puts out plenty of light, I've used it for hours, basically all night long on a overnight search and rescue mission. And I always just carry around a couple of charged up batteries for spares just in case. Plus I can charge the battery in the field if necessary using my little solar USB charger. This thing's a little heavier than the lightweight things, and you know, a little less comfortable to wear, but it works great and I have no complaints with it. It's absolutely bomb-proof, and just I can always count on it for good, reliable light. And I'll come back to the drop leg platform in a moment. Couple of knives here, both cold steel. This one, the Finn Wolf. It's actually a Scandi grind, pardon me, Scandi grind folding knife, which is pretty unusual, so it's good for bushcraft type stuff and woodworking. I find I end up using it frequently when I'm doing carpentry work too, when I need to square up notches or clean up cuts, whatever. Very good for that sort of thing. It's also great for out in the woods. Has a nice squared off spine. Good for striking a ferro rod. Got it very sharp. I took the thumb stud off because I don't need to be able to deploy it quickly. And it has a very strong back lock on there, the famous cold steel triad locking system. So I have used this to baton small pieces of firewood also. It's not an ideal knife for everyday carry, for like, you know, just basic slicing, opening up envelopes or boxes or whatever, but I use it for that sort of thing too. This is the knife that I carry all the time when I'm at work or out in the field or whatever. This is my little backup pocket knife. And very pleased with it. It cost me about $34, I think, which is pretty incredible price for a knife that does what it does and has been as reliable as it is. And this one is the first large fixed blade that I got back when I first started going out and doing things in the woods. The cold steel Bushman Bowie. As you can see, it's kind of dirty and beat up and everything. I've used this one a lot. I took and put a notch in there for making it easier with the ferro rod, and wrapped the handle with this stuff to get a better grip. But it's just a very basic hollow handle, one piece of metal for the entire thing. And there's lots of videos on YouTube of just how practically indestructible these things are. And it was just over $20. And I don't tend to carry it anymore because I have since upgraded to a more expensive and nicer knife. But I carry this in the vehicle as a backup knife, and I still have confidence that it will do anything that I need. And very tough, and you know, it's not the most comfortable to use for a long period of time or anything, but still works great. If you're looking for an inexpensive knife that is going to do what you need to do out in the woods, why, that one certainly will take care of the job for you. Then finally, well, a few things on this, but this is a drop leg holster, or drop leg platform, I should say. It's got the part that hooks on the belt here that you can unbuckle, and then the strap that goes around the leg to secure it in place. I've been having some issues with the Velcro up here. Sometimes it suddenly turns loose on me and the thing wants to slide down my leg then, which is kind of frustrating. I need to get that figured out and get it to where it stays secure. But it's a really handy way to carry extra gear along on my body without having to put it in the pack or try and rig up something on my chest or whatever. There's certain things that I want to have on me. Even if I set my pack down, I still have basic emergency gear with me. and for that it's an excellent system. I do carry a backup flashlight just in case. I normally always use my headlamp, but I have that one with a charged up 18650 battery in it too. And in this part I carry like a multi-tool and assorted fire starting equipment and space blanket and some first aid gear and all that sort of stuff. Another budget item, which anybody that's into radios has seen many variations of this. This is a Baofeng. This particular one is UVS9 Plus. They have a million different model numbers and clones and such, but this one's a 8-watt one with the long antenna on it. Works really well. I have no complaints about it, and it was around $35, I think, and picked up a spare battery for that, and I always try and have that with me when I'm out in the woods. Has pretty good range with the 8 watts and with the big antenna, and I've been able to communicate whenever I need to. And then the other thing that I added on this platform, the drop leg platform, came with the flashlight holder, this part, and the holster for the radio. But this part, as you can see, I added on. This is actually like a military flare pouch with the MOLLE webbing, and I was able to stick it in there and carry around my Fiskars folding saw. And I've talked in other videos about my folding saw and how much I appreciate them. This one, the Fiskars, is surprisingly inexpensive, like around 20 something, at least when I got it. With inflation now, it's probably more, but cuts extremely well. This is a 10-inch blade, but I've actually used it to cut down a section that was about 12-inch diameter. Just took some patience and working my way around it. I can use that to process firewood and, you know, cut whatever I need to out in the field. And I've learned that as long as I have that folding saw and my ferro rod and tinder and such, I can be pretty certain of starting a fire anytime I need to, under just about any conditions. So I like to always have that with me, and just a great budget item that I highly recommend to anybody. So anyway, I have lots of other gear and various budget items, but these are just some ones I wanted to quickly go over. Hope that's been useful to some of you, and I will try to look these things up and put links in the description down below in case anybody is interested in purchasing any of these. And feel free to comment if you have any questions or things you would like to say about any of this gear. So anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Republic Jim. I'll talk to you later.